So like I know the people who go in and out of here, and I'm familiar with all the people on this block. So like I know what's going on in these buildings, but this one's probably my favorite in terms of like detail, and it's just like one huge block. It's 2 row houses, and then behind it there's just a bunch of other buildings that they've added on. And see, some of these date back like way old, like I don't know, mid to late 1800s, and then some of them are, you know, brand new. I mean, I don't know when they're adding like garages and shit, but yeah, I mean, it's a real. What I love about this block is there's not too much nature on it. You know, it's pretty much just all pavement, but it's so Baltimore. Like every single building on this block, like architecturally, just speaks to Baltimore in some kind of way. Like the Italianate buildings in the front, or like the row houses with the bowed front. And then on this side, I mean, just like the row houses with like the middle one knocked down, or, you know, an exposed party wall, like shit that shouldn't be there, but it's just all too normal in Baltimore. This was the first building that I did. There's Daver and Siak on here. These guys do up like entire walls with like characters and shit. So they definitely get like permission for these spots. This side has crazy burners on it too. And you can't see right here, but they've parked like a trailer in front of it. So when I had all the cars in here, there was a trailer blocking that. But, you know, I recreated every single piece faithfully. You know, I want to pay respect to the artists who came out here and, you know, risked their freedom to put this shit up. So much of this is definitely not worth keeping. So there was a Korean restaurant in the corner of this one, and I used to just be able to walk down my block and go into the basement and get great Korean food. But and you know, I live in Koreatown. There's a lot of places, but the night that this burnt down, you know, I couldn't sleep. My house was filled with smoke, so I was out in the street watching it burn with all my neighbors, and the people who owned the Korean restaurant were, you know, standing there like crying because they just lost their business. It was really kind of fucked up, and now it's all tagged up, so it's just sad to see. I'm wondering if it's ever going to reopen, or, you know, if they just took insurance money and ran. I don't really know.
Yeah, and if you wanted to, you could climb in here. I wouldn't though, because now it's been exposed to the elements for a year, and if the roof is collapsed in, the other floors are not good. You know how much rain has entered that building? It's like rotting away. I wouldn't go in there. Not this back one. They have to completely gut this thing. I mean, I could come back in a year and this might be fixed up. But the whole time I lived here, it was like, even before it burnt down, you know, it was trash everywhere. And that's what interests me. I'm an observant person. I'm a graffiti artist. Like, you know, it's a lot of tags that people wouldn't even notice or whatever, but I see every single one that goes up, and yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's my life. It's my daily life. You go and you look at the model, you're like, that's cool, but, you know, you can tell it's small. I mean, like, unless you really do the camera tricks, you can't convince yourself that it's like a big block. But this place is huge. I feel like a little ant.
It's huge, and it's gutted.
I feel like a little ant.
It's like the roach that you were just saying is crawling around the.
Yeah, it's like the little roach that was crawling in the model. You know.
This piece is called Old Goucher 2022. It was my thesis at MICA. Basically, I moved to this neighborhood like 2 years ago, and I watch it change like every single day. The biggest thing right now is the graffiti. It's like every single night a new piece of graffiti goes up, and I walk this stretch every single day through this alleyway. This is my back alley. I live right up here. The campus is down there. So every time I would go to the studio, to the Lazarus Center, I would have to walk through this. And pretty much daily, I was taking note of all the graffiti, and I would notice that it would change all the time. About a year ago, this building burst into flames overnight, and my bedroom filled with smoke. It was like the most dramatic thing ever. People were squatting in there. It had been condemned for a couple months, and yeah, they just lit a fire to keep warm, and it just went up. And since then, it's just been rotting and collecting graffiti, and it has no roof. It's completely collapsing in. The newest development in this story is a year later, finally, it looks like someone's gonna redo the building and surprisingly keep it, but not after people hung out the windows and caught hangdowns and shit on it. So, they're gonna have to at least paint that whole front one, because I don't think they're sandblasting that. But yeah, that was another thing that I wasn't really considering when I started it was, at what point do you call it done? Because it's always changing, right? So like I finished and like people have caught a couple more throwies and whatnot in the alley, but I haven't updated it since then, because like every single day I'm gonna be like adding like a new tag that I notice or something. At this point, no. I mean, I probably have to call it done. That's why it's Old Goucher 2022. The thing is, like, I learned a lot of history about the block. So we used to have trolley lines that came up, like streetcars that came up Howard Street and down Maryland Ave. And there used to be row houses all along this too. But they ripped out all the trolley lines in one fucking day in the 60s. And then they widened Howard Street and made it like auto-centric. So now it's got like body shops and used car lots and like a tire place. And they widened the road, so they demolished all the old historic buildings. But Maryland Ave still has the beautiful front to the buildings. So it's kind of cool to look at this block from all angles. It's changing, it's forever changing. And like if I were to come to this neighborhood in like 30 years, I might not even recognize it. I thought after they had that burned down, they were gonna blow it up into some gentrification building, or maybe it was just gonna sit as like a vacant lot. But see, if I kept this thing for 30 years and then I actually like came and displayed it here like 30 years from now, that would be pretty fucking sick. But I don't know if that's gonna happen.
$2 died. Maybe like a year ago. So it's crazy. A lot of guys come through here to leave their mark on my block, and some of them aren't here anymore. But their mark is here. $2. Rest in peace, $2. That's fucking cool. That's really cool. I never saw that one. And I wish I could end it on a good note, but really, like, everyone who sees this piece is going to take something different from it, and I think a lot of people have, a bad image of the city. It's a question of, like, when it recovers, I mean, does it recover and it benefits the homeless people who live here who desperately need housing, or, does it gentrify and people move in and make it even less affordable? Because the only reason that I'm in this neighborhood is because I can afford to live here. And that's the truth. It's not a lot of Micah kids that live over here. But it's my neighborhood, it's my beautiful neighborhood, and I love it. So that's the idea. Look in it. You can see the door in it. You see that, bro? You can look right in it.